Chosen ones, this is your last step. From now on, you'll have millions. Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater? That deep within your soul, there's a calling that sets you apart from others. You're right, because being a chosen one isn't just a title, it's your divine destiny. What I'm about to share with you today is unlike anything you've heard before about prosperity and divine selection. This isn't another motivational message. This is your divine appointment with destiny. You see, for years, many have misunderstood what it truly means to be chosen for abundance. They've looked at prosperity as something worldly, something separate from spiritual growth. But what if I told you that your spiritual journey and material abundance were meant to be intertwined? Think about it for a moment. Have you noticed how every challenge you face seemed to be preparing you for something bigger? How every setback actually strengthened your spirit rather than breaking it? That wasn't a coincidence. In this transformative message, you'll discover why you were specifically selected for extraordinary abundance. You'll understand why your past struggles weren't punishments, but preparations. And most importantly, you'll learn the final step that separates you from the millions that are already destined for you. This isn't just about money. It's about stepping into the fullness of your divine purpose. By the end of this message, you'll have clarity about why you were chosen for this specific time, how to recognize the signs that your breakthrough is imminent, the exact steps to align yourself with divine abundance, how to embrace your role as prosperity pioneer. You're not watching this by chance. Your presence here is divinely orchestrated for this exact moment. If you feel a stirring in your spirit right now, if something within you resonates with these words, drop a 77 in the comments. Let's confirm your divine selection together. Are you ready to understand why you were chosen for millions? Let's begin this sacred journey. Part 1. Understanding your divine selection. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem destined for greatness, while others remain in obscurity? What if I told you that your struggles, your doubts, and even your darkest moments were actually signs of divine selection? Could it be that what you perceived as setbacks were actually stepping stones to your destiny? Let me share with you a profound truth that's woven throughout Scripture and history. In the depths of an Egyptian prison, there lay a young man named Joseph. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and falsely accused, his life seemed to be a series of tragic setbacks. But what appeared to be his lowest point was actually divine preparation for his highest purpose. You see, Joseph's story mirrors the journey of every chosen one. Think about your own life for a moment. Those times when others misunderstood you. The seasons when your gift seemed more like a burden. The moments when your vision felt too big for your current circumstances. Just as Joseph's gift of dream interpretation initially brought him hatred from his brothers, your unique abilities might have attracted criticism. But here's what most people don't understand about divine selection. God doesn't choose the qualified, He qualifies the chosen. Consider Moses, another chosen one who initially felt unworthy of his calling. Standing before the burning bush, he questioned his ability to lead, claiming he wasn't eloquent enough. Yet, it was precisely his perceived weakness that made him perfect for divine purpose. Your selection wasn't based on your perfection, but on your potential. It wasn't your achievements that caught heaven's attention, but your resilience. In Jeremiah 1:5, we find a profound revelation. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you. This wasn't just for Jeremiah. It's the blueprint of divine selection. Think about David, a shepherd boy who became king. When Samuel came to Jesse's house to anoint the future king, everyone looked at external qualifications. But God looked at the heart. While others saw a simple shepherd, God saw a warrior, king in waiting. This is why your struggles have been different from others. This is why conventional paths never quite felt right for you. This is why you've always sensed there was something more. Your challenges weren't meant to break you, They were designed to reveal you. Every trial you faced has been a divine training ground. Every closed door has been protection from the wrong path. Every disappointment has been preparation for your destiny. Remember when Daniel was thrown into the lion's den? What seemed like a death sentence was actually a stage for miracle. The very thing meant to destroy him became the platform for his promotion. This is the pattern of divine selection. What the enemy means for evil, God uses for good. Look at your life through this lens. Those financial struggles, they were teaching you the value of true wealth. Those relationships that didn't work out, they were protecting you for your divine connections. Those dreams that seemed too big, they were glimpses of your actual destiny. You see, being chosen isn't about being perfect. It's about being purposeful. It's not about being the most qualified, but being the most willing. It's not about where you start, but where you're destined to go. As we transition into understanding how to step into this divine selection, remember this. Just as Joseph's path to the palace led through the prison, your path to millions is being paved through your current challenges. Your selection isn't random, it's intentional. Your struggles aren't punishment, they're preparation. Your destiny isn't just about you, it's about divine purpose. Now that you understand why you were chosen, let's explore the unmistakable signs that your season of abundance is about to begin. If you recognize yourself in this divine selection pattern, type chosen in the comments below. Your acknowledgement is the first step toward your manifestation. This is no ordinary selection. This is divine destiny in motion. And your time is now. Part 2. The signs of imminent breakthrough. Have you noticed those moments when everything seems to align perfectly? Those instances when coincidences feel too meaningful to be random. What if I told you these aren't coincidences at all, but divine signals of your imminent breakthrough? Let me share a profound story from the Bible that illuminates these signs. Consider Joseph, a young man who, like many of you, was chosen for extraordinary abundance. But before his breakthrough, he experienced specific signs that his time of elevation was approaching. Picture this: Joseph in an Egyptian prison, seemingly forgotten by the world. Yet in those dark moments, something remarkable began to happen. He started noticing patterns, dreams becoming more vivid, his interpretations more precise, and most importantly, a deep sense of peace despite his circumstances. Just as dawn breaks gradually, first with subtle changes in the sky before the sun appears, your breakthrough also announces itself through distinct signs. These signs aren't always dramatic declarations. They're often quiet whispers of coming change. In Joseph's case, the first sign was an unusual sense of favor, even in his imprisonment. The prison warden began trusting him with increasing responsibility. This mirrors what many chosen ones experience before their breakthrough: unexpected favor in unlikely places. But here's where it gets interesting. The second sign Joseph experienced was a sudden acceleration of events. After years of waiting, things began moving quickly. Within a single day, he went from prisoner to prime minister. This rapid acceleration is a crucial sign that many chosen ones experience before their millions manifest. Think about your own life for a moment. Haven't you noticed similar patterns? Those moments when doors begin opening effortlessly. When opportunities start appearing out of nowhere, these aren't random events, they're divine choreography. In Ecclesiastes 3:1, we're reminded that to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. The signs of your breakthrough follow this divine timing. They appear in 3 distinct waves. First, there's internal preparation, a deep sense of readiness, a spiritual knowing that something is about to shift. You might find yourself feeling unusually peaceful about your future, even if nothing has changed externally. Second, you'll notice external confirmation. Synchronicities that can't be explained by chance. Perhaps you keep seeing certain numbers or specific opportunities repeatedly present themselves. These are what I call divine echoes, heaven's way of confirming your coming prosperity. Third, And most significantly, you'll experience what I call the Joseph acceleration, when everything begins moving at an unprecedented pace. This is when those millions start manifesting in ways you couldn't have orchestrated yourself. Consider this. Before Joseph's breakthrough, he had a dream that seemed impossible, his family bowing before him. Yet at the precise moment of divine timing, everything aligned perfectly. Your millions are positioned similarly, waiting for that perfect moment of alignment. But here's the crucial understanding you need to grasp. These signs aren't just indicators, they're invitations. They're invitations. They're calling you to position yourself for what's coming. Just as Joseph had to interpret Pharaoh's dream correctly to step into his prosperity, you must accurately discern and respond to your signs. Remember Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it? This scripture isn't just asking a question. It's revealing a profound truth about divine timing and perception. Your breakthrough isn't just coming. It's already in motion. The signs are already appearing in your life. The question isn't whether the millions are coming. The question is whether you're positioned to receive them. As we prepare to look at how to position yourself for this imminent prosperity, let me ask you, are you seeing these signs in your life? Are you experiencing unusual favor? Are you experiencing unusual favor? Are opportunities suddenly appearing? Is there a deep knowing within your spirit that something is about to shift? Because understanding these signs is only the beginning. What's even more crucial is knowing how to prepare your spirit for the millions that are about to manifest in your life. Let's explore how to align yourself with this divine abundance. Part 3. Preparing your spirit for millions. Have you ever wondered why some people seem naturally prepared for wealth, while others struggle when abundance comes their way? What if I told you that spiritual preparation is the key difference between those who maintain their millions and those who lose them? Think about it. Why do 70 of lottery winners end up bankrupt within a few years? Let me share a profound story from the ancient texts that illuminates this very principle. In the book of Genesis, we find the story of Joseph, a young man who God prepared spiritually before entrusting him with unprecedented wealth and power in Egypt. Joseph's journey began in the depths of a pit, thrown there by his own brothers. Imagine that moment, the betrayal, the darkness, the uncertainty. Yet this wasn't just a tragedy. It was divine preparation. Through slavery in Potiphar's house, through false accusation and imprisonment, through years of seeming abandonment, God was cultivating something precious in Joseph's spirit. What's fascinating is how Joseph responded to each setback. In Potiphar's house, he served with excellence. In prison, he helped others interpret their dreams. Even in his darkest moments, he maintained his integrity and connection to divine purpose. This wasn't just survival, it was spiritual formation. When Pharaoh finally elevated Joseph to second in command of Egypt, he was ready. The years of hardship had developed his character, wisdom, and spiritual maturity. He hadn't just survived his trials. He had been transformed by them. Now, let's connect this to you, chosen one. Like Joseph, your current season of preparation isn't punishment, it's protection. Those moments when you felt overlooked, they were developing your humility. Those times of scarcity, they were teaching you wisdom in handling abundance. Every trial has been a divine deposit into your spiritual bank account. But here's what many miss. Spiritual preparation for millions involves specific elements that most never consider. First, you must develop what I call abundance consciousness, the ability to see yourself as a steward rather than just a recipient of wealth. This means understanding that the millions coming your way aren't just for your comfort, they're for your mission. In Deuteronomy 8:18 we read, "Remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." This scripture reveals a crucial truth. Wealth is a partnership between divine provision and human stewardship, between divine provision and human stewardship. Consider this. When God wants to entrust someone with millions, He first looks at their spiritual capacity to handle it. Are you developing that capacity? Are you practicing generosity with what you currently have? Are you maintaining integrity in small financial matters? Remember, Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel. David tended sheep before becoming king. Jesus spent 30 years in preparation before his 3-year ministry. Your preparation isn't a delay, it's a divine necessity. Let me share a powerful insight. The reason many lose their millions is that they receive the wealth before their spirit is ready to steward it. They have the money but lack the spiritual maturity to manage it wisely. This is why your current season of preparation is actually a blessing in disguise. Here's what you need to focus on right now. Cultivate gratitude for what you have, no matter how small it seems. Practice integrity in your current financial dealings. Develop a giving heart, even before the millions arrive. Study wisdom, literature, and spiritual principles about wealth. Most importantly, maintain your spiritual practices, prayer, meditation, and study of sacred texts. As we transition into understanding how to handle divine wealth, remember this: your spirit must be bigger than your bank account. When your spiritual capacity exceeds your financial capacity, you're ready for the millions that await you. The question isn't whether the millions are coming. They are. The question is, are you spiritually prepared to receive them? If you feel this message resonating in your spirit, if you recognize that you're in a season of spiritual preparation for abundance, type "ready" in the comments. Type "ready" in the comments, because what's coming next will show you exactly how to position yourself for the divine transfer of wealth that's already been allocated for you. Now that we understand the importance of spiritual preparation, let's explore how this divine wealth will serve a greater purpose in your life and the lives of others. Part 4. The divine purpose of your wealth. Have you ever wondered why some people are entrusted with great wealth while others aren't? What if I told you that the millions coming your way aren't just about your comfort, but about a greater divine purpose? What if your financial breakthrough was actually part of a sacred mission? Let me share with you a profound story from ancient times that perfectly illustrates the divine purpose of wealth. In the book of Esther, we find a young Jewish woman who suddenly found herself in a position of tremendous influence and wealth. But her elevation wasn't random. It was divinely orchestrated for a specific purpose. Picture this: a humble Jewish girl living in exile in Persia suddenly becomes queen of the most powerful empire in the world. Think about that for a moment. Esther didn't just receive wealth and position for herself. As the story unfolds, we discover that her elevation to wealth and power was precisely timed for a crucial moment when her entire people faced extinction. Remember those words her cousin Mordecai spoke to her? "Who knows whether you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this?" These words echo through time, speaking directly to you, chosen one. You see, like Esther, your coming wealth isn't just about personal prosperity. It's about divine positioning. Every trial you've endured, every setback you've overcome, has been preparing you for this moment, just as Esther's experiences prepared her for her divine purpose. Just as Esther's experiences prepared her for her divine purpose. Consider Joseph in Egypt. His path to wealth and power seemed random. Sold into slavery, imprisoned unjustly, then suddenly elevated to become second in command of Egypt. But there was nothing random about it. His position of influence and wealth saved not only Egypt but surrounding nations during 7 years of famine. This is the pattern we see throughout Scripture. When God positions someone for wealth, it's always about more than personal prosperity. It's about impact. It's about influence. It's about transformation. Let me break this down for you in practical terms. Your millions aren't just currency. They're tools for transformation. Think about it. When you have abundance, you can fund projects that change lives. You can support causes that align with your divine purpose. You can create opportunities for others who are where you once were. In Deuteronomy 8:18, we read, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, to confirm His covenant." Notice the connection. Wealth is given to confirm a covenant, to fulfill a greater purpose. You're not just receiving millions for comfort, you're receiving them for commission. Every dollar that comes into your hands has a divine assignment attached to it. Your wealth will open doors, that your worth will open doors that your words alone cannot. Your prosperity will create platforms that your prayers alone cannot build. Think of King Solomon. When God offered him anything he wanted, he chose wisdom to lead his people. God was so pleased with this selfless request that he added wealth beyond measure to Solomon's wisdom. Why? Because Solomon's heart was aligned with divine purpose. This is where many have missed it. They've sought wealth for wealth's sake, not realizing that true prosperity comes when we understand its divine purpose. Your millions are coming not just as a blessing, but as a responsibility. They're coming not just as a gift, but as a tool for kingdom impact. You see, when you understand this truth, it changes how you view wealth. It's no longer about impressing others or living in luxury, though you'll certainly live well. It's about stewardship. It's about impact. It's about legacy. As we transition into understanding the practical steps to manifest this wealth, remember this: you're not just claiming millions for yourself. You're claiming resources for a divine purpose. You're stepping into abundance not just for personal gain, but for kingdom impact. Now that you understand the divine purpose of your wealth, let's explore the inspired actions you need to take to step into this abundance. Because understanding without action is just information, but understanding with action leads to transformation. But understanding with action leads to transformation. What resonates most with your spirit right now? If you feel called to be a steward of divine wealth for kingdom impact, type steward in the comments below. Your declaration is your first step into this divine purpose. Part 5. Taking inspired action. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to attract success effortlessly while others struggle? What if I told you that the difference lies not in luck or circumstance, but in understanding the divine rhythm of inspired action? Let me share with you a profound story from the book of Joshua, a story that perfectly illustrates the power of inspired action. When Joshua stood before the walls of Jericho, he faced what seemed like an impossible situation. These weren't just any walls. They were massive fortifications that had withstood countless armies. But Joshua had something more powerful than military might. He had divine guidance. Now, imagine being there in that moment. The sun rising over those imposing walls, casting long shadows across the desert sand. The air thick with anticipation. Joshua's army, thousands strong, waiting for direction. And then comes the most unusual battle plan in military history. God instructed Joshua to have his army march around the city once a day for 6 days in complete silence. On the 7th day, they were to march 7 times, then blow their trumpets and shout. Can you imagine the confusion, the skepticism, the questions that must have raced through their minds? This wasn't conventional military strategy. It defied all logical understanding. But here's the crucial point. This was inspired action. Action that came from divine guidance rather than human wisdom. And what happened? On that 7th day, when they followed these seemingly bizarre instructions precisely, those impenetrable walls came crashing down. Not through battering rams or siege engines, but through divinely inspired action perfectly aligned with God's timing. This story teaches us something profound about the nature of inspired action in your journey to millions. Like Joshua, you're standing before your own walls of Jericho, obstacles that seem insurmountable by conventional means. But just as Joshua received specific instructions, you too are receiving divine guidance. But here's what many miss. Inspired action isn't just about doing something, it's about doing the right thing at the right time, in the right time, in the right time, in the right way. It's about moving in harmony with divine timing. Think about Moses at the Red Sea. He didn't just act. He waited for precise divine instruction. When he lifted his staff over the waters, it wasn't his action alone that parted the sea. It was his action aligned with divine timing and purpose. This is what separates the chosen ones from others. They understand that success isn't just about hustle and hard work. It's about divine alignment. It's about divine alignment. It's about recognizing and responding to heavenly promptings with precision and faith. So what does this mean for you, chosen one, as you stand on the brink of your millions? First, understand that inspiration will come in whispers, subtle nudges, unexpected ideas, divine appointments. These aren't random. They're carefully orchestrated steps in your journey to abundance. Second, when these promptings come, act with bold faith. Don't let logic or conventional wisdom hold you back. Remember, the walls of Jericho fell through actions that made no sense to military strategists. Third, maintain your spiritual sensitivity. Like Samuel in the temple, learn to recognize God's voice. Speak, Lord, for your servant is listening. This receptivity is crucial for receiving divine instruction. Consider David facing Goliath. His inspired action wasn't just picking up 5 smooth stones. It was having the courage to step forward when everyone else stepped back. It was recognizing that his previous experiences, even as a shepherd, were preparation for this moment. Your millions await on the other side of inspired action. But remember, this isn't about frantic activity or endless striving. It's about aligned movement, divine timing, and supernatural cooperation. As powerful as inspired action is, there's one final element that will seal your destiny, the power of claiming your inheritance. But before we explore that, let me ask you, are you sensing a divine nudge right now? Do you feel the Spirit moving you toward specific action? If so, type move in the comments. Let's step into divine alignment together. Remember, chosen one, the walls before you may seem insurmountable, but they're already destined to fall. Your part is simply to follow the divine choreography set before you. Like Joshua, your victory isn't in your strength, but in your obedience to inspired action. The millions awaiting you aren't just about currency. They're about influence, impact, and the fulfillment of your divine purpose. Every inspired action you take moves you closer to this destiny. Part 6, the final step, claiming your inheritance. Have you ever wondered why some people seem destined for extraordinary wealth? What if I told you that your inheritance of millions isn't just a dream, but a divine reality waiting to be claimed? What if this very moment was the pivot point between your past of preparation and your future of prosperity? Let me share with you a profound truth that echoes through the ages, illustrated perfectly in the story of Joshua at the Jordan River. Picture this. The Israelites stood at the edge of the Jordan, facing their promised land. For 40 years, they had wandered in the wilderness, carrying a promise that seemed just out of reach. The land of milk and honey lay before them, but a raging river stood in their way. Does this feel familiar to your journey? But here's what most people miss about this pivotal moment. The miracle didn't happen when they stood and watched. It happened when they stepped forward. The priests had to touch the water's edge before the river parted. This wasn't just a historical event. It was a divine pattern being established for generations to come. In Deuteronomy 8:18, we're reminded, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms His covenant." This wasn't just a promise for ancient times. It's your inheritance today. Think about where you stand right now. Like those priests at the Jordan, you're at the threshold of your miracle. The millions you've been promised aren't just financial figures. They're the physical manifestation of your spiritual inheritance. But here's the critical understanding that changes everything. Just as the priests had to step into the water, You must take action to claim what's already yours. This isn't about asking for something new. It's about claiming what has already been designated for you in the spiritual realm. Consider the story of Esther. Before she could save her people, she had to claim her position as queen. For such a time as this, she was told, your millions aren't just about personal wealth. They're about positioning you for kingdom impact. This is where many chosen ones hesitate. They wait for the waters to part before stepping forward. But divine economy operates differently. Faith precedes the miracle. Action precedes the manifestation. Let me be clear. The final step isn't about striving or struggling. It's about stepping into alignment with what's already yours. Think of David before he faced Goliath. He had to claim his victory before the battle even began. Your millions aren't locked behind a door of uncertainty. They're waiting for you to step into the authority that's already yours. Just as Solomon had to sit on his throne to access his inheritance, you must position yourself in the place of receiving. This is why so many miss their moment of breakthrough. They're waiting for permission when they should be making a declaration. They're asking if when they should be declaring when. Remember the widow in 2 Kings 4? She had to prepare empty vessels before the oil began to flow. Your preparation isn't just about being ready. It's a declaration of expectation. What's required now is your divine declaration. Not a meek request, but a bold claiming of what's rightfully yours. This is the difference between those who wonder about wealth and those who walk in it. The Bible tells us in Romans 8:17 that we are heirs of God and co-heirs with Christ. This isn't just spiritual poetry. It's a legal declaration of your inheritance rights. As we conclude this critical teaching, I want you to understand something profound. The gap between where you are and your millions isn't a matter of worthiness. It's a matter of claiming. Just as Joshua had to command his people to cross the Jordan, you must now command your spirit to cross into abundance. Your final step is this. Stand in the authority of your selection, declare your readiness to receive, and step forward in faith. Filled expectation. The waters of limitation are about to part before you. But first, you must plant your feet in the promise. Your millions await your declaration. If you feel this divine resonance in your spirit, if you know that this is your moment of crossing over, type claim in the comments. Let's make this your moment of divine possession. Remember, chosen one, this isn't just about money. It's about stepping into the fullness of your divine purpose, where prosperity becomes your platform for kingdom impact. Conclusion, your new chapter of prosperity. As we conclude this sacred message about your divine selection and destiny of abundance, I want you to pause for a moment and truly absorb what we've discovered together. Throughout this journey, we've unveiled profound truths about your calling as a chosen one. We've seen how your past struggles weren't mere coincidences, but divine preparation. We've understood why you were selected for this exact moment in history, and most importantly, we've revealed the final step to claiming your millions. But here's what I want you to remember above all else. Your selection isn't just about personal prosperity. It's about pioneering a new way of walking in both spiritual authority and material abundance. The millions coming your way aren't just currency. They're tools for kingdom impact. Think about this. What if everything you've endured was preparing you not just for wealth, but for influence? What if your story of transformation becomes the blueprint that helps others step into their divine inheritance? The question now isn't whether you're chosen. We've established that truth. The real question is, are you ready to step fully into this calling? Your next move will determine everything. Will you remain in the familiar territory of preparation, or will you step boldly into your season of manifestation? If this message has stirred something deep within your spirit, I invite you to take action right now. Type ready in the comments if you're prepared to claim your divine inheritance. Share this message with someone else who needs to understand their selection. Join our community of chosen ones by by subscribing to this channel. But most importantly, I want to hear your story. What resonated most deeply with you today? What revelation sparked a new understanding of your calling? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, chosen one, this isn't the end of your story. It's merely the beginning of your manifestation. The millions awaiting you are just the first fruits of a harvest that will impact generations. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey today. Your presence here wasn't by chance. It was divinely orchestrated. As you step forward into your season of abundance, remember, you weren't chosen by accident, and your prosperity isn't just about you. This is your moment, your time, your season. Until we meet again, stay blessed, stay faithful, and most importantly, stay ready. Your millions await. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell to continue receiving divine wisdom for your journey of abundance. Together, we're not just claiming wealth, we're establishing a new legacy of chosen ones. We're establishing a new legacy of chosen ones who understand the true purpose of prosperity. May divine favor rest upon you as you step into the fullness of your calling.